Brahmanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvaditam Gaganasadarsham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavaditam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Om Trambakam Yamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat Om Namah Shivaya. Shanti Shanti. Okay. So we are back again for another Shivaratri here. Not Shivaratri. Shivaratri will start after dusk. We are here for a, what do we call that then? Shiva Dina morning. So I have many times explained to you the concept of Shiva and what Shiva indicates and who he is and what he is and where he is. All this I have. But still, every time we meet for, what is that echo coming? Every time we meet, no, can't hear? That is not their fault, I keep moving. So, because one more Shivaratri or Shiva Dina has come, Maha Shivaratri. So, I want to again go into this, may sound different. This much. There are innumerable concepts about Shiva. Shiva being a representation of the infinite Supreme Being. Because Shiva is infinite, there are infinite ways of looking at Shiva. There is no one way of looking at Shiva. People consider Shiva to be the supreme teacher. We consider Shiva to be Paramashiva, Sadashiva, Adinath. And some consider Shiva to be the Shiva who is dancing. And some the Shiva in Chidambaram, the city of 9 gates. And others, the Shaiva Siddhanta, consider Shiva to be the Supreme Being who is everywhere and at the same time in the heart. This is Shiva. So, whatever way we describe, how did it get energy now to stay? So, let me start with one. You would see Shiva sometimes with 4 hands, sometimes with 6 hands. And one thing that you would have noticed, if it is properly done according to the Brihat Samhita, that most of the places where Shiva has been established for worship, 1 ear, there is a simple earring, which is in the right. In the left ear, there is an elaborate, like that, something similar. So, and the first part of the Saundari Lahari is called Shivananda Lahari. Some people drop the Shiva and say Ananda Lahari, first 40 verses. Shivananda Lahari. And how does the Saundari Lahari start? I am saying this because Shankara, Adi Shankara, who himself I think realized the essence of Shankara, Shiva, wrote, supposed to have written, the Saundari Lahari. How does it start? Shiva Shaktya Yukta. What is the name mentioned first? Even though it's supposed to be a Devi Stotra. What is the first word? Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shaktaha Prabhavitam Na Chedevam Devo Na Khalu Kushalaha Sipadlitum Abhi Atasvamaratyam Harihara Virinjari. Then it goes on to the Devi. So the concept of Shiva is not necessarily totally male. It is Shiva plus Shakti, and some places worshipped as Ardhanarishwara. This is the concept of Shiva in the image and symbolic aspect. So all the Nari Shaktis who are here, please remember that Shiva is always associated with Shiva's Shakti. So that is one aspect of Shiva. Now when you see Shiva in an image, when he is not doing this Tandava Nrita or the dance, cosmic dance, this Nataraja, this is interesting. Most of the people in our world who dance and who have perfect are women. And the king of all dancers is Shiva, Nataraja, Lord of all Natya. So one has to understand the symbology of Shiva here, that it is like the Chinese, like the Tao's, yin yang is all together in Shiva. It is one principle. And when you see Shiva, there are two ways he is depicted, either as in a dancing posture, as Nataraja, or the terrible Tandava Nrita. Nana Shenda Alashayum Ulagamellam. That, or he is represented as sitting in Kailash on the top of the mountain in Padmasana or Siddhasana meditating. And there Shiva represents the supreme yogi. The concept of even in Mohenjo-daro in Harappa, when the archaeologists dug, they found images of Shiva sitting in Padmasana. It's an ancient concept. Please don't divide it into Aryan, Dravidian and all this stuff. It is an ancient symbol of Shiva, which has been known to us from ages. Shiva has been described in Vedanta, as well as in the Agamas, as well as in the scriptures of the Siddhas in Tamil. Shiva has been presented everywhere as the supreme being, all-pervading, who is given a certain form or who appears in a certain form because for a certain purpose. It's a wide concept. From Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham to Shiva as the supreme being who Tirumular falls in love with in the Tirumantiram. Except that in this love he becomes one with Shiva. There is no difference outside. So, when you see the image of Shiva sitting like a yogi, the first thing you notice that the eyes are half closed and there's an eye somewhere here open. Now this eye is the eye of wisdom, Jnana Drishti, Ajna Chakra, which when activated and actually opens up, the yogi enters the world of Shiva, from a human being to that of the divine status. This is the representation of the third eye, and therefore for us yogis, you know that Tirumular's guru, Tirumular who wrote the Tirumantiram, I don't know how many people have read. If you haven't read it or gone through it, in the evening session I will give you a small introduction, reserving it. One of course it is written in Tamil. Tamil is not against Vedanta, please. वहाँ भी कमल खुलेगा. So, what I am saying is that, sorry, his guru. Do anybody know the name of the guru of Tirumular? No. Personal guru. He calls him Nandinatha. Nandinatha. And Nandinath therefore comes with the Nath from the Natha Sampradaya. And therefore we are related to each other. And he says, the ruler says, I have surrendered myself to Nandinatha, who is none other than a manifestation of the great Agastya. There you are right. So, third eye. Therefore, Shiva in image, not in abstract, is a representation of a yogi. When a human being, and please don't think yogi means a man. Shiva Shaktya Yukta, remember, both yogi and yogini are not separate things, they are the same. So when a yogi sits in Padmasana or Siddhasana, you will see generally Shiva is in Siddhasana because that is the Siddha lineage. Once you finish and have reached, you don't have to then force yourself into Padmasana. Siddhasana is a very comfortable posture. He sits in Siddhasana, his eyes are closed and one eye is open, the eye of wisdom, Jnana Drishti is open. Perfect example of a yogi. And what is on his neck? Neck, something which people when they see run for their lives. A cobra on the neck with its hood up, looking like this, saying, is anybody disturbing him from meditation? And representing the snake aspect of the Devi. That Devi, that Supreme Devi, that Parashakti who surrounds, who's the origin of the universe, after having done her work, is not diminished, is still the same. She is Purna, Purnamada, Purnamidam, she is also Purna, even now. And she curls around the little Mooladhara, the small triangle inside the square, and sits there in the form of a sleeping snake. And the yogi, either through meditation or through bhakti or through yantra or through mantra or through tapasya, awakens this energy. It goes up to the Sushumna. And the Sushumna, the top of the Sushumna, is the other thing that Shiva holds, the Trishul. Now you understand, the Trishul being called a Shula, which means a weapon thrown, a missile, represents on one hand a weapon thrown against all evil influence and all things that take a yogi away from the truth. I'm sorry about the heat. This is Andhra Pradesh. And I think this heat is better than in Kerala now. So, what did I say? So the Trishul, while it represents the weapon that keeps away all negativity and all negative energy, when in the human being as a yogi, it represents the Ida, Pingala and the Sushumna, which is why the Sushumna is usually longer, the middle one. When this energy awakens and passes through the Trishul and comes up here, then it first goes around Shiva's neck. So it is here that the Akasha Tattva is there. It sits there for some time before going up. And what is in the Sahasrara is represented by the crescent moon on Shiva's head, which is why Shiva is called Soma Shekhara. Recently we inaugurated that temple, did the Prana Pratishtha. They asked me what should we call it, it's a Shivling. I said Someshwara. The man is sitting there who did the puja. Now, Someshwara, what is Soma? Soma is the juice which when you drink, I don't know if it's a mushroom, but Soma is the juice which when drunk in ancient times, now nobody knows what Soma is, it's forgotten. The yogi left this world and entered into different realms. So, when the snake reaches here, this becomes activated. When this becomes activated, the soma begins to trickle down through here and through here. And Shiva sits as the linga, the Mahalinga. Only in Tamil Nadu you will find the name Mahalingam. Mahalinga. Here. And there the snake goes around. When the snake goes around, it disappears into the linga. And the crescent moon slowly comes and sits on top of the linga. You might have seen sometimes on a linga. And it is the thinnest crescent possible. Actually, you can see only 15 digits of the moon, but we call it through our extended demand the 16th digit, Shodashakshari. So, that Devi called Sri Vidya, who is the Supreme Shakti, goes and sits on the linga, and now they are both merged together in ecstasy. This is their description in Saundarya Lahari. Saundarya means beauty, and Lahari means, you know what is Lahari. What is Lahari? Not Lahari Maha Shivaratri. Ecstasy, intoxication. So this is the great symbol of Shiva as a yogi. Now, if you see Shiva with 6 hands sometimes, on one hand it is raised up, even in the posture of dancing, in the Natya posture, not in all images where the 6 hands are there, arms are there. On one hand you will see a small deer, a fawn, standing like this, darting from here. So, a deer is called a saranga. Not saranga teri aadmi, not that. Saranga. And that little fawn sitting there is darting away. And that is the symbol of the mind. It is always darting. And it is because of the darting of the mind that man runs behind it. Well, even gods have run behind it. If Rama had not gone behind that deer, Sita wouldn't have been taken by Rama. So, the darting mind is a sign of desire, a sign of fulfilling your worldly desires, and the movement of the mind which is faster than even a deer. So, what is Shiva called? Saranath, Lord of the mind, Lord of the Saran, Lord of the Saranga. Many people don't know, I don't know if you know, that the first sermon that the Buddha gave in Saranath, there is still a not well looked after ancient temple of Shiva there, with the saranga darting from his hand. So it was called Sarnath. And Buddha found it a beautiful place to give his first sermon. So he went and sat down. And he said something which is very difficult for ordinary human beings to practice. You know what is the first sentence that Shiva uttered? Desire is the root of all sorrow. Finished. It's not easy. Now Shiva represents the height of that, extreme energy of that. And yet he is available to everybody. When the Devas have a fight, they go to Kailash and he is sitting happily meditating. Now why Kailash belongs to China, I have no idea. From ancient times Shiva is sitting there. Then they said, oh, Avalokiteshvara sits there. Well, Avalokiteshvara is white coloured, exactly like Shiva. If you ask the Bompos who were primitive before Buddhism came, they will tell you that their founder also descended from Kailash. So in the snowy Kailash, Shiva is represented as meditating. Many people try to disturb his meditation, including the beautiful Kamadeva, who aimed the arrow of Kama, arrow of flowers, on to Shiva, to move him out from his meditation. And now Shiva is meditating. There is a third eye. Through the third eye, the Shiva Purana says, Shiva sent out a dart and Kamadeva was destroyed. But I am sure he came up again. He rules the world almost. Anyway, so this is the great representation of a Mahayogi. Shiva, matted hairs, tiger skin, Trishul in one hand, the saranga dancing on, running, rushing from the other hand. And when he is dancing, one leg is down and the other leg is up. The leg that is down, the foot that is down is the earth, and the foot that is up is the upper levels of spiritual existence. And there is one fellow lying under that feet, one small fellow. He is supposed to be a dwarf called Apasmara. Apasmara is also the name given to epilepsy. Apasmara, because epilepsy is very close to Turiya. Borderline is very thin. Anyway, in Rome it was called the holy disease at one time. Anyway, this Apasmara represents ego, ignorance, devious minds. All this is represented in the dwarf. Shiva, by dancing on him, is suppressing the foolishness, the ego and the ignorance that is prevalent in the whole world. One foot is there. The other foot raised up to show. In fact, in some representations, you will find that the raised foot comes up to the ear and sometimes up to the nose. Great yogis I know who used to do their anulom vilom with the toe. So Shiva again represents a Mahayogi. Now this is the concept of Shiva. So when you, now Shivaratri, now still coming, Shivaratri. Shivaratri is symbolic of two things generally. One is that Shiva is doing the there was some other voice. You also heard, right? So I thought I was looking for a neurologist. Anyway, so what did I say? Shivaratri, right. Shivaratri, there are two things which are important. One, it is considered to be the marriage of Shiva with Parvati. Now this Parvati is not a new individual, supposed to have done tapasya for 500 births to be born as the daughter of the Himalayas and then remarry Shiva because she is the original Shakti in the form of Parvati. So they are coming together. The union of Shiva and Parvati is celebrated as Shivaratri 1. And the second is that terrible dance of Shiva, which is called Tandavanata, with the Damaru. There is no other sound except the sound of the Damaru. Dub, 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 dub. Yogis who meditate and go deep will first hear the heart sounding like a Damaru. Dum, 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 and then go. No. So, that is the only thing. And then he is dancing the dance of destruction. So he said destruction. It is not destruction. It is regeneration. Because if the old is not destroyed. There is no space for the new in this world. Plus, if ignorance is not destroyed, there is no place for knowledge in this world. Therefore, the Tandava Nritta, where everything shakes, is a demolition so that new things come. So, this is the beautiful concept of Shiva. There is another thing. He also holds an axe in some places. Beautiful little axe. That axe is the one which was gifted to Parashurama. That Parash means an axe, given to Rama, that Rama, before Rama, Parash, with which he committed various things. We won't delve into that. And they said that Shiva taught him how to use the Parash. You will be surprised to know that the great Dronacharya of the Mahabharata was a disciple of Parashurama. So the connections are all there. And where do the connections start? With Shiva. Now, the mantra of Shiva is, of course, everybody knows, is Om Namah Shiva. It is one of the great Mahamantras which have been described in the Agamas, in the Upanishads, in the Puranas, in the Shiva Samhita. Om Namah Shivaya. Now it means Om, which means the Supreme Being beyond the grasp of the senses. Namah Shivaya. I bow down to that Shiva, that Supreme Bliss. Now Shivam in Sanskrit also means blissfulness. Ananda. Another word for Ananda, synonym for Ananda is Shivam. Om Namah Shivaya. I bow down to that Supreme Bliss who is in the form of Shiva. In the highest experience of the yogis, Shiva is experienced as one's own inner being. And therefore Adi Shankara said, Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham. Shivoham. I am of the nature of Chit, consciousness, and Ananda, bliss. I am Shivam, I am Shivam, I am auspiciousness, I am auspiciousness. Now that particular form of Shiva as Chidambara, Chidambara actually means clad in consciousness, which in physical terms, Chidambara, which in physical terms means he has no clothes, which the Naga Babas imitate. And the Digambaras among the Jains are like that. When you say Digambara, it means clad in the four directions. Dig. North, south, east, west is the only clothes they have. And here Shiva is also Digambara. And in the Dattatreya Sampradaya, Shiva is considered as a Digambara yogi, because their mantra itself is Digambara, Digambara, Sri Padavallabha Digambara, 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 Avatuta Chintana Digambara. This is. So Shiva appears in all these forms and in all these descriptions, though in essence he sits as the inner essence of all living beings. And in Chidambaram, you will see how Chidambaram city is built. Chidambaram city is built with 9 entries. The temple. And the 9 entries are the 9 openings of the human body. And in the Hridaya sits the Lord Shiva. How does he sit? There is no form. There is only pure consciousness There is no form, there is nothing. So therefore when they do puja, they put up a crescent or do something so that puja can be offered. The linga is called Chitlinga, linga of consciousness. Now please bear in mind that linga, the Sanskrit word, simply means a symbol. So these are the various descriptions of Shiva. The most important thing that we should remember is that he is dancing on apasmara, which is a sign of ego and ignorance and non-intelligent living, which takes one to distraction. And if you are leading such a life, if Shiva decides to dance on you and trample you, be happy. Why? Because the raised leg will take you to the realms of happiness and peace. And no happiness and peace happens until one goes through some churning or the other. If you say everything is hunky-dory, but I still want to find the truth, it's not. You're not allowing Shiva to dismantle the structure. If you don't dismantle the structure, you will not find the essence. This is the great symbol represented by Shiva. So therefore, all dancers and all artists and all people involved in the arts and crafts of expression, they all bow down to Shiva before they start anything, because Shiva is the chief or the lord or the king of all dancers. And in that dance of Tandava Nritya, everything is removed and shattered, and there is only Shivam, pure Shivam. And if one is ready for that, then one has become Shiva. Then only you can say Chidananda Rupam Shivoham. Don't keep on chanting it without reaching that stage. That stage before that, it is better to say, yes, Shiva is there and I am here, I want to reach there. Be humble. Let him trample on your ignorance and your ego. Don't say, I am so Shiva. Yeah, I am Shiva, and the moment I don't get one vada, I am upset. So it is always good for most people to have a duality when you start. Afterwards you can see when you reach there. I'm not saying everything is dual, I'm saying everything is one. But I am here now and Shivam is there, it's an aspiration. When I reach there, then I can say, okay, I'm Shivam. Because if you start saying now I am Shivam, then you become apasmara. And then Shiva decides, is a good fellow, but little bit caught up in ignorance. Me dance, give one kick, then you say, this, what did I take into spiritual life? I get only kicks. Believe me, at the end of it, there is a beautiful state. And the more number of kicks you receive, the better is the future. This is what we should, because our puny little brains cannot understand the plan of life. We think our plan is the best plan. Well, it is not. Or it may not be. I've seen a lot of people, they make many plans, they do this, they do that, just for a few trinkets. And in the end, still suffering, asking for help. Oh Lord, do something. Can we start that from the beginning? Why go to the end and suffer? Then life becomes nice and sweet. When you get Mysore Pak, you are happy. If you don't get also, you are happy. This is the life, this is the lesson you have to learn from the great depiction of the icon called Shiva. Okay. Then, also has in one hand fire. When he does the dance, the Nritya, there is fire. This is the fire of aspiration towards the higher things. It is also the fire in which all your evil traits, all your negative thoughts are burnt to ashes. It is this fire that takes you to the higher levels of existence. It is this fire that, giving due respect to Nachiketas, the great Lord of Death Yama declared as the Nachiketas fire. The fire, desire is fire, right? Now this is the highest desire that one can have. So therefore, lead a life where you actually see yourself as you are and not what you imagine yourself to be. Then you are partaking and participating in the Tandava. Any dancer knows that when you go round too many times, you feel dizzy. It is the dizziness that we need. Too much of sanity is not a good idea. Babaji used to say that if this civilization is a result of 1,000 years of sanity, no, it's better to be insane. And Shiva in the Tandava Nrita is completely insane. He is not looking at anything. He's just dancing away. You can call it the dance of ecstasy, or you can call it the dance of distraction. You can call it the dance of regeneration, where after regeneration only the pure consciousness, Chit, remains. So, this is what I wanted to tell you. Nothing more. Is there a Shiva in Singapore? You are allowed to ask 3 questions. This side, and this side. Put up your hand, let me choose, if you don't mind. Can you take off your mask? I want to see you. I hope you're not threatening me. Yes.
How to overcome unknown fear?
Unknown.
Fear.
How to overcome unknown fears. So, which means, just a minute, can you come here? You're allowed to move. Sit there. She's quite harmless, sit there. Now, when you say unknown fears, what do you exactly mean by it? I am sure many people have. I want from you.
Yeah, so today I wanted to come here. Then I had a suggestion that what happens if my car breaks down?
Okay. I can hear him. So, now look, now this is a very irrational fear. Hundreds of people are using a car and they're coming and they're going back. Now, if an accident happens, it can happen to anybody, not only you. So, the way to tackle this is to have complete faith in the Lord and say, I'm going for a good purpose. The Lord is there, He will take care of me. Or, if you worship the Lord as the Lordess, she will take care of me. If this faith is firm in your heart, then you will not have this kind of little unknown fears. If you are free of it, then you are free of it. It depends on your faith, complete faith. So, from tomorrow, when you go out, you say, Shiva is there or Narayana is there in me. I have nothing to worry, and drive. Cars are made to drive. Don't crawl, go at full speed. The Lord is looking after you. Really, I'm not joking. Once you say, I have surrendered and the Lord is looking after me, then the Lord really is sitting inside your heart and looking after you. Make Krishna your charioteer.
Thank you. 2 months before I came along with Krishna, we discussed more. Your blessings. I think I'm doing well.
Good. This is all I wanted to know. So you will do better. Get rid of this fear. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can say God is with me, or you can say Babaji is with me. Don't say I am with you. Go back. She's getting restless. Now I have to choose. There are only 3 questions, so I'm looking. People at the back shouldn't think that I'm not interested in you, okay? It's just that like Brahma, I don't have 4 heads. Doctor, too much powder. Now what to do? I'm in a dilemma. So many hands are up. I want to see. You're all serious, I know, but yes? You come from far away, so we give you a chance, right? That many people have not come from far. Yeah.
Can you talk a bit more about, when you're talking about, you said 1,000 years of sanity.
1,000 years of
sanity.
Yeah.
And now you talk about we need a bit of insanity, but is it not insanity that we think we are not the Brahman, that I don't have Atma Jnana? You understand what I'm saying? So, is this not insanity with the life we're living right now?
No, this is a very comparative word that I used. It was a comparison. When I said sanity, we are so dead sure this is how the world should be, this is how we should shape it, and we have been shaping it, and now it is totally misshapen. So therefore, if we understand that all this is okay for ordinary life, but if you need to get spiritual, if you need to go into the realms, deeper levels of, you need to abandon all these structures.
Yeah.
So that is why some yogis behave as if they are mad. Only problem is, what has happened then is all madmen are worshipped as swamis. This is also not good. But somebody is sleeping in a railway station, they'll go to puja. It's not like that. But it is true that some yogis, especially when you are fully absorbed in the bliss, even when people get drunk, ordinary drinking, they behave like crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Here you are fully drunk on something stronger than liquor, so you might behave crazy. This is what is meant.
Yeah, I understand.
So try to find that insanity which is better than this sanity which we look at.
Okay.
Those who are insane, those who are think that they are sane will think you are insane. You might think they are insane. Right? There have been great teachers, great Paramahamsas, who were found looking for food in where food is thrown away by people. So Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, I don't know if you...
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say that if you see some mad guy coming and looking for food in what you have thrown away, treat him with respect. Maybe he is crazy, still you can treat him with respect. Or it could be that he is a Paramahamsa who eats only what is left behind. He said that. And I know this for a fact. It was told to me by one of the senior monks of the Ramakrishna order, who used to be in charge of their center in Bengal called Purulia. and they were making a road there. They tried to ask the government to make a road, but the government refused to make a road. It happens. Our government is good, it is making a road here. So, they were not making the road, the brahmacharis and the swamis decided to do their own road. So they started working. So this particular monk, senior monk, he was supervising work and he came from a very rich zamindar, which means land owning family. One habit, even after becoming a Swami, he had not got rid of: smoking. He had no other problem, but he used to smoke. And that too, he used to get 555 and smoke. So he was standing there and supervising the road work when suddenly a madman came. They thought he's a madman. He's not washed for a long time, clothes were torn. He was laughing to himself and looking up. And then he came to one of the brahmacharis who were standing here, and that Swami was there. And he said, "Cigarette?" So the brahmachari said, "Go there, ask Swamiji. He has this." He said, "Which Swamiji?" "There is only one Swamiji, Swami Vivekananda." After that, "What Swamiji? Which Swamiji is that?" And he went to him and said, "Are you a Swamiji?" He got worried. He said, "I got worried. I gave him a cigarette, I lit it for him, and I did like this." Then he laughed and went off with the cigarette. Now, this is not a madman. This is a man who behaves like a man. Why? Because he is drunk in the inner essence. And when you are drunk in the inner essence, you don't care for the formalities of life. We have known many such people. Many people thought Sadashiva Brahmendra was a crazy man. He used to walk around without any clothes. But we all know that he was a great saint and a scholar and everything put together. That's what is meant.
Okay.
I gave you a lot of time.
Yeah, thank you.
Because where have you come from?
Ireland. Ireland.
Holland.
Yeah.
Ireland. Okay. Ireland. Do you know that Swami Vivekananda's very close disciple was a lady from Ireland called Sister Nivedita? Annie Besant was Irish too. There is time only for one more question. After that I am supposed to do something, I don't know what. No, since we are on the subject, I look quite sane, but if I behave as I want to behave, you will probably run away from me. But I have to put up a front. No questions from the United States? Okay, now for India. Yes, sir. Bharat.
Sir, how to learn from scratch to be indifferent to lows and highs of life?
You will begin to learn, even the very need to learn this arises only when we have come to scratch. Otherwise we are not concerned about this. When you feel now everything is over, I can't do anything, then this thought comes, how do we learn to ride this wave that is going low now? Let me tell you something. In this world, it is the nature of the world. Somebody said it very nicely. Every hill shall be brought low and every valley shall be filled. Yogi from Galilee said that. So this is the nature of the world. First, we should understand this. Okay? So whenever you are at a low, this is the time for you to study. Why is it that I have come to this? What happened to me? Is it my fault or not my fault? What are the situations that brought me into this? Is the best time to study. You know what happens? In our desire and anxiety to get away from this low and reach a high wave, we neglect studying the reason why we are there. If you can stop there and study this, not only factually but also in your mind, why your mind is now feeling low, also psychological as well as physical, then over a period of time, something will come out which will make you understand how you can go above this and rise to a new way. Believe me, this life is full of up and downs, especially when you are riding very high. When it goes down, you feel bad. Some people are just somewhat going like this, they don't feel the impact of it. So I think you should take this as a blessing and a good starting point to look fresh and make something new out of it. Huh? What is your subject?
I am a medical engineer.
Maybe this is the time for you to start teaching people how to overcome the downs of life. Moment you start teaching, you will learn. And please have faith, invoke Babaji's name,
Yes, sir.
do the Guru Mantra, and say ultimately in true essence I am not different from the Supreme Shivam. May his blessings be on me, and then when the blessings become excess, I will also share it with others.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now we need to close today's deal. There is something I am supposed to do with the laptop. So thank you very much. Om Shanti. We will meet again in the evening. We have Dhuni, we have little bit of Natya Pradarshana, and I will also discuss the other aspects of what Shivam is according to the Tirumantiram. You came alone? Huh? बैठिए बैठिए.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. When we think about Maha Shiva, we always cannot disassociate the water flowing from his head. Similarly, near the divine city of Nashik, nestled in the Brahmagiri hills, is Triambakeshwar, from where the Godavari originates. The second biggest and the most important river in India, however, is in troubled state. What was once a perennial river is almost becoming seasonal now, with places in and around Nashik struggling for water in the peak summer months before the monsoons. So the Satsang Foundation, in conjunction with several local bodies and also in conjunction with Dr. Rajendra Singh, have initiated a project called Aviral Godavari, whose 10-year mission is to make the Godavari a perennial river and make its restore its pravitrata. And a lot of work has happened in that regard, and kunds have been cleared, there have been bunds which have been formed, and a website is being launched today by Sir, which details the activities of this project. So I now request Sir to launch this project. Yes. So this is probably one way to restore sanity or insanity, whichever way we look at it. So uh, we all need to come together to make this happen. There are kiosks right there behind the Shivalaya. You can see some shamianas. There is information that people who are interested in these kinds of things can please go there, and there is a teams of volunteers who can provide information on how to join and contribute towards the success of this mission. It's truly water is. I mean, today in Bangalore we are having water problems and so many issues in so many cities, and these are small efforts to stem the tide and hopefully get to a state where we are in a much better place. There is another initiative that is being launched by Sir today. You would have seen certain badges like the one I am wearing, which is I Grow My Greens. Um, I'll share a little details about this initiative. We all know about the Maitri program of the Satsang Foundation, where we encourage afforestation, and it's not just about planting trees, but nurturing and growing them. As Sir says, the act of planting a tree and taking care of its growth develops a connection with nature and also helps us evolve. Now, not everybody can easily plant trees, but today we provide no excuse. So in this grow bag, these kits, many of you might have received emails already, and over 200 of these kits have already been booked. Uh, Comes with a packet of a grow bag, manure, soil, uh, dried leaves which will become compost, and then we also provide spinach seeds. So all you have to do is put the seeds and water them, and any apartment or any uh, house should be able to do it. Now there are two things that are accomplished with this. One is the idea of Maitri and the connection with nature, but more importantly, it also serves as a nutritional value where rather than buying commercially grown greens, which are often ridden with pesticides and other chemicals which are not necessarily good for our health and lead to other undesirable outcomes, this is a way in which we take ownership, and it's not just about us doing, it's a movement we are trying to create where everybody does that one initially, and then as a community, so when Nutri Gardens are set up and other details, so that I encourage everybody to um, you know participate in this movement and join the I Grow My Greens challenge. Sir, if you can just no laptop. No, no. You can remove the grow bag and the seeds. Yeah. So if you just plant and water. Yeah. Spinach seeds. Fasalakira. Palak. We are being supported in this initiative by an organization called Nallakirai in Chennai. The gentleman who is Mr. Jagannathan, I would request you to identify yourself. So he is out here, and uh, he's been championing the cause of growing your own greens for a long time, and we are joining hands to do this nationwide. He's going to be available again at the kiosk, at the Maitri kiosk. So he's a great resource person, and he's on several government panels, has been interviewed by a lot of media houses. So please use the opportunity to interact with him, even if not to grow your greens, for if you have any connection with nature or other things too. Yeah. So
When we built the hospital here, we didn't build it, somebody built it for us. We thought we will keep 70% or 75, whatever, 70 or 80% free and keep about 30% paid to sustain the hospital. Then I thought to myself, we thought, if the Lord sustains the universe, He will sustain a hospital also without paying for it. So now we have declared that the hospital is free of charges for anybody and everybody. And we want to bring in whatever equipment is required to get it going, which again the provider is there. So I think it will happen. I just wanted to tell you, please don't pay anything if you go there. It's free. So thank you very much. Anything else?
So bringing it all together is yoga, and our Bharat Yoga Vidya Kendra is now launching a new newsletter called Yoga Vidya, and this will provide information related to yoga and integration of that, and aspects of Ayurveda and various other components and facets of yoga. Yeah, Vivek will receive.
Open it.
So sir will open it and launch the newsletter. Again, you can go to the kiosk where BYVK has a counter and subscribe to this, or write to connect at bharatyogviththekendra.in. So I would